Hey y'all, this is Mitch here again. I'm coming to you from obviously my office, all the red. I have the windows open today, and it's a good thing you probably can't see what's going on out there. As I record this, we're having blizzard-like conditions, wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. It's snowing. Strangely enough, for our area, it's not as much snow as one would think for blizzard-like conditions. So it should go away pretty quickly, and we'll be back to our normal snow an inch or two every single day. But that's not what I'm talking about today. Today, I want to talk about writing. I want to talk about people's perception of those of us who write. And I've got a minor rant. And this is just minor, but it's something that's been bothering me for a couple of weeks now. I went to a meeting of a group of healthcare professionals that I kind of belong to. And one of the things we're looking to do with one of the websites that I helped create for them is to increase the content. And one of the things we look at for content, of course, is writing articles. And so the discussion was for people to try to write more articles. And one of the guys said, we ought to appoint people to write, an article per quarter or a couple of articles here and there. And so, he named some people. And this one guy said, well, I don't know if I have, time to really get to anything. And he said, how long it takes him to write articles. And then I happen to say, well, articles aren't really all that difficult. Really only takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to write. Of course, some of you know that I sometimes write a lot faster, but, that's just me. And then he said to me, well, yeah, if you're not going to do any research or anything. And I'm thinking, what the heck was that? And I didn't like it. And, this is a guy who doesn't know me, but let me just put this out there. And I'm sure that most of you who see this are probably going to agree with this particular statement. We all have experiences in our life. We do a lot of reading, or maybe you watch a lot of TV, or you just experience life. And it doesn't matter whether it's business life or personal life. We all have these, wealth of experiences. And anybody who says that they can't write or they don't have anything to write about, when you have all of this, that pretty much means one of two things. One, either you're not visualizing it properly, in the in the format of kind of a story or something you can talk about, or you really don't want to do it. For someone to say to me that, well, that's because you don't research or whatever, has totally negated everything that I do. For instance, I read all the time. My God, I spend all this time online, and at least half of it I'm reading. I do a ton of research. Some of you have seen some of my posts. I mean, I've got almost 980 posts on this particular blog, and of course I have posts on other blogs. And some of those things you take time to research. You spend a lot of time. I have spent 3 to 4 hours putting together information just to write one post. The thing is that when I put all that information together and then I go to write the post, it still only takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes to write a post. Now, I have had some where I've had so much detail and I want to put in a lot of links and a lot of other little stuff that it maybe takes a little bit longer. But in general, with everything that I do, it still only takes 10 to 15 minutes. But here's the thing. If it takes you a half hour, if it takes you an hour, even if it takes a couple of days for you to put together, your information and put everything in the way you want it so you can put it out there, it's no excuse, one, not to do it, especially if it's going to end up benefiting you in the end, and two, using it as the excuse to try to demean someone else because you don't have the ability to do it. You saw my post a couple of other, days ago about talking about how do you review. And one of the things I said there is that there's no reason to be mean on purpose. And, during this movie that I talked about, Heckler, a lot of those people said, we get up here and we do this thing and this is our profession, this is what we try to do. And we get these people who criticize who have no clue how to do it. And that's probably the truth. A lot of critics are frustrated movie makers or, writers who can't do anything else. And, I don't bash a lot of stuff, at least hard. I really don't. I think I mentioned that before. And I don't try to demean someone else who can't do things that I can do, because I know there's a lot of things I can't do. I mean, let's talk cars, for instance. Just as an example, years ago, I kept putting oil into my car because I kept thinking that I was short on oil. And it turned out that the stick I was checking wasn't the oil. Like I knew nothing about cars. You keep me away from the inside of a car. Trust me on this. So, you know, you don't need snarky remarks from anybody trying to demean something you do. In essence, they can't do it. And they ought to just own up to it. Either they can't do it or they don't want to do it. So here's what I'm going to say to all of y'all. When you're writing your blog post, think only of how you want to get it out there. If it takes you a long time, then you take a long time. Only thing that you really want to do in blogging is you want to put out content. You want to make sure that you have something going all the time because that helps to drive people to your site. Now, I'm not going to get into the commenting thing right now because that's actually work in the community. But I'm just saying, write. Just put some words together, write. Don't care if it's too perfect or not perfect enough. Just write. And if someone wants to critique you on your writing without you asking them, just say what I sometimes say. What have you written lately? What have you done? That's all I have. And like I said, it's kind of a rant. I could say a lot more, but I think this is enough for now. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this particular subject? I hope to hear from all of you. And I'm sure you'll see those little few words that I'll write around this particular video. But, you know, it's the kind of thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do more video. It's funny how I've had a few people say you need to do more videos. We'll see where it all goes. Thank you very much for allowing me to have this time to state my little rant. And I will be interested in seeing all of your comments. Thank you. Y'all take care.